Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost Happy New Year.
Almost.
Wow.
Every year, it's like, oh, it's January, it's February, it's March, it's the beginning of the year, and then it's fucking Christmas.
Well, hang on. I'm Candace.
I'm Ty.
And this is not a single fork, just another podcast about food and cooking, but we're keeping it real.
Real.
So she has an opinion.
Listen, we all have opinions about things. So I just pulled up an article, and now I want you to guess.
Okay, I'm going to guess.
What are the top 10 most common New Year's resolutions?
Oh, okay. So losing weight.
Yes.
Not drinking.
No.
Stopping smoking.
Yes.
Exercising.
Yes.
Let's see. I don't know.
Okay.
Those are the ones.
Those are good. Those are the top. Get organized, learn a new skill or hobby, live life to the fullest.
Yes, please.
Save money, spend less, spend more time with family and friends, travel more, read more. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I think having a new
Here it comes.
Here it comes. And here we go. I think having a New Year's resolution is great. I do it. I do more realistic, right? Like, be kind to yourself. I like the read more. I think that's cute. I think
read more is a good one.
I think learning a new skill is great, but losing weight, all this shit. Like, look, the truth of the matter is that's up here, right? And if you're not ready up there, it doesn't matter if it's January 1st or if it's fucking May. Like, you're going to do those things when you're ready to do those things, not just because someone tells you, Happy New Year, it's time to fucking change. Because the gym is busy January and February, and then it goes away anymore.
Yeah.
So just do lifestyle changes. Maybe learn a new life skill. Maybe read a little bit more. Okay, maybe I'm going to reach out to people I haven't talked to in a while this year, or I'm going to make a painting. I'm going, I don't know, I like that kind of stuff. Or go to therapy or better yourself in some way. I'm not going to eat, 10 pounds of chocolate cocoa.
Well, I think regardless of whether you want to call it a resolution or an intention or whatever, is that you have to, first of all, you have to recognize it's just another time of year. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's New Year's. It doesn't matter if it's May. It doesn't matter, 4th of July, whatever. But you have to take baby steps.
Yes.
You can't just
jump right in.
I've been reading this book called Atomic Habits,
mm-hmm.
and James Clear wrote this book, and he's well known in the, I guess this, I don't know if I want to call it the self-improvement area, but this book is really, in far as business and that sort of thing, is really sensible in terms of establishing habits. It's like you have to do little things working toward where you want to go, because little things add up eventually and will take you where you want to go.
Quit smoking, I think, is great, but you don't have to quit smoking on January 1st.
Yeah.
Quitting smoking that year at some point, somehow.
Well, and that's
a good.
Most people can't do cold turkey.
No, and you shouldn't. Probably it fucks with your body completely. I also really like the idea of new beginnings. I like the idea of, okay, we're starting fresh. I like, it's January, let's start over. I do like that. But set your intentions, one for good and one that are realistic. It doesn't need to be, I'm going to kill it and lose 75 pounds this year, because then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Right.
And aggravation. And, maybe it's I should have more pool parties this year.
Have at least one more.
Yeah, just something like that.
Instead of I'm having no parties, I had never have a party, and then you say, I'm going to have a party every month. No, just
have one.
One party.
Yeah.
The whole year.
Or
one party.
You know what? I'm going to do that dinner party this year. Because people have this fantasy about I don't think fantasy is the right word, but it's in their mind, it's a fantasy of having this magical dinner party and having people over for dinner and whatever. And nobody actually really does it. So do that.
Yeah.
One.
Just one.
One in 12 months.
Right. And then, and you can, and plan it,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
give yourself time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is that what we're talking about today?
Well, I mean,
I
it
just
is
kind
New
of
Year's,
lost
and
myself.
she kind of lost her shit on this, but I mean, we're doing a lot of changing this year, but and it's going to look like, oh, boom, they already changed, but we started this process a year ago.
Yeah, it's like my hair.
Yeah, exactly.
See, there it is. Started it a year ago. Almost February. And that's the thing. Like, fuck it, I'm not going to get my hair dyed anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So you decide that, and then you figure out how to do it. But for instance, with moving our business online, it has been a year-long process.
It has. You guys don't see that, but that's the magic of it.
And so
right?
we did.
It's not a surprise to us.
We took baby steps all along the way, so that now we're in January, or we're almost in January. So we're adding a really neat feature to the online recipe collection, which is our subscription that we keep harping on. Because we think it's special and we think you would really enjoy it.
And if there are millions of you out there, like Chef Nikki says, that are listening to us, then fucking sign up.
Sign up. Show us.
Show us that you're out there.
We're adding grocery lists and menu plans.
Because maybe your New Year's resolution is to cook more at home.
And that should be your New Year's resolution. Go for it now.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Yeah. So we're going to have virtual wine tastings and virtual classes, and everything's on the website, thegirlcancook.com. And whether it's a /join-now for our online recipe collection, or it's the wine classes or pasta. And if you're in Tulsa, pasta classes. Actually, the wine classes have an in-person component as well.
Yeah.
So we're not going anywhere. Right. We're going to still do the podcast, but we're just not having our
We're shifting gears.
Physical kitchen studio anymore. And things change. I'm a project person, and once I have kind of taken a project as far as it seems like it's going to go, then I'm ready to do something new. And so that's why I like January 1st. I like New Year's, is that it's something project new. Time. Let's get a new project.
My projects are a little different, but mine's like, rip out a wall. Let's take down the house. Woo! It's a project.
Well, you have a lot of those going on.
I usually do.
She actually has a lot of very cool house projects going on.
And I learned a new skill this year. Did you learn a new skill this year?
What? Well, tell me about your skill. Maybe it'll bring something to mind.
Well, I learned how to sew.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've never used a fucking sewing machine before.
That's so crazy.
And I've never used a sewing machine. And I think there are a lot of people out there like that. So I have a friend who started his own business making men's shirts. And I thought, why not? Like, during the day, I had a day free, and I was like, why don't I learn how to sew? So I
Are you asking for a sewing machine for Christmas?
No, it's already past Christmas, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's already past Christmas. No, I'm not asking for a sewing machine for Christmas, but I did make some Christmas gifts.
You didn't get one for Christmas.
I didn't get one for Christmas. You're using Harrison's.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm using my friends. But it actually is, and I only just started, like, it wasn't all year, but it's funny because we talk about learning a new skill, and it's very rewarding. Like, it really is. Yeah. Like, I feel like I've accomplished something. You can see it. So learning a new skill, I think, is great, whether you're going to quit your job and make shirts for the rest of your life, or you can just know that you know how to use this. I mean, like, there's something so freeing about that, and that, like, it's very rewarding. I feel like I've accomplished a lot.
Well, the thing is, I come from a generation where my mother, in her generation, there were tasks that you had to learn. Mm-hmm. And one of those tasks was sewing. And so I learned how to use a sewing machine growing up, and learned how to read a pattern.
But people can't do that anymore.
But they don't do it anymore.
It's not a thing. I was watching this TV show that was like, I'm getting married, and it's, I'm getting married. So each one is different, right? And this one was like, I'm getting married, and it's to a mail order bride. And it's this Russian woman, Ukrainian woman, actually. And she's great. She comes over. The guy is, but whatever. Anyway, she's speaking in Russian, the subtitles, and she's like, American women don't know how to do shit. And it's true. Like, I'm not saying every American woman, but I'm saying like in other countries, this woman, it looked old, so I don't even know when this was, but she knows how to cook. She knows how to clean. She knows how to sew. She knows how to do. And look, I'm not Susie Homemaker. Like you're not going to, if you tell me to do it, I'm not going to fucking do it. But I want to know how. You know, and I can cook and I can clean and now I can sew.
Well, you know
and
what?
like it's just skills that people don't get taught anymore.
Like setting a table.
Yeah. Knowing how to eat your food. I had a dream the other day that they were like doing all these tests and then they were like, we're going to teach you how to use. I was being trained to be a spy.
In your dream?
Yes.
Okay.
And they were like, we're going to teach you how to eat with a knife and fork. And I was like, I'm British. I know how to eat with a knife and fork. I said that in my dream.
In your dream.
But it's true. Calligraphy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just cursive, right?
I was reading that too. Like they don't teach cursive in school anymore.
They really don't?
They don't.
Wow.
They don't teach cursive in school anymore. I read that last night. I was like,
you read that on BuzzFeed?
No, it was it wasn't BuzzFeed. It was actually like a
real
article. Yeah. Yeah. It's stuff like that.
Well, you know what? I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they were talking. It was fascinating. The neuroscientist and they were talking about AI and the brain and all this stuff, and the guy was trying to refer to cursive handwriting, and the host says calligraphy, and it was like,
nope, that's
different. No, that's not really and they never did come up with cursive.
It's very different.
It was so strange because that was one of those. You got graded.
Yes.
In school. When I was in school, at how good your cursive handwriting
was.
was.
100%. And calligraphy, for example.
I love calligraphy.
When my sister got married, which was, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was, she was like, oh, like everybody wants to send out these beautiful invitations. And you now have to pay somebody to do that. And she was like, fuck it, I'll just learn how to do it.
Yeah. And
she learned how to do it. It didn't take, a couple days for her and she did them all and they looked amazing. And so she can do calligraphy now, but that's like a skill that like,
who does that? Who does that?
And who can you learn that from? And so if you do stumble across someone this year, I don't care if it's fucking someone else's grandmother, because it's usually going to be someone older that knows how to do this shit.
Yeah.
Take advantage. Be like, hey, I'm free on Wednesdays. Can I come over? One, they're going to love the company. They're going to love teaching you something because their kids don't want to fucking learn how to do it. Mm-hmm. And you're going to learn this crazy fucking skill that people are going to look at you and go, why do you know that?
Well, but you know what? Cooking is the same thing.
Cooking's the same thing.
Because people don't know how to cook.
Oh,
and
that's apparent. I don't know how people eat.
Well, I don't either. But here's the thing. So we've been teaching cooking classes for a long time, and we still are. And there are days when it's like one of those self-evaluation thing, and you get into imposter syndrome and you think, oh shit, anybody can do this. Anybody. And then I teach a class and I'm like, nope. Nope. And just the things that are so basic and people don't know it
because no one showed them how.
Nobody showed them how to cook.
Nobody showed them how because they were kids and they were in the way, and you have to go over there and you can't be in the kitchen. It's shit like that like that. Now those people don't know how to cook, or their parents never cooked.
Their parents typically the generations that are happening now. I mean, like our generation didn't do a very good job of teaching.
Right.
But then your generation eats out.
Right.
And so kids don't learn how to cook.
Mm-mm.
And it's really an important skill.
Yeah, it's a life skill. It is a life skill.
Yeah.
Like there are so many people that I know that if apocalypse happened, I would eat them. And I would survive. No, you're useful. You only eat the not.
I'm useful.
You don't eat the useful people. You eat the people that are not useful.
Wow, that took quite a turn.
It did, but that's my brain. Welcome to being in my head.
Oh my God.
And there are so many people, even in my life, that and Jason and I have had this discussion too. Like, I love them. I love hanging out with them. They're fun. They're whatever. But they don't have, other than their job, what they do for a living, there's no other skill that happens. There's no cooking. There's no gardening. There's no creating of any kind, whether it's painting or pottery or and I'm like, wow, they're really have no, they're,
because using the creative part of your brain.
when someone says you get to pick 4 people and go on an island, shit, that's not one of them. Because I don't need an attorney on an island.
Probably not.
No.
But you miss out on so much if you don't do, and I'm not saying artistic. You just something creative.
Something creative. And creative can be, make a bird house, make a box, not only, and cooking, like you said, I mean, all these things. I mean, there's so many things we haven't talked about. Instruments, music, dancing,
you know what I would love to learn how to do, and I don't know that I ever will. I would love to learn how to play the violin.
The violin.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still time for that.
Well, I think
it's very manageable.
I think it's
what I would like to learn how to do is break dance.
No.
Is that realistic at my age, at fucking this size? I don't know, but I might give it a go.
Well, you could. You're a good dancer. You want to throw yourself?
I want to be able to
and
spin on my head and be just
I don't want to do that. I've done the dancing thing. No, I've just
see a violin. I think is very manageable.
I always wanted to learn how to play the violin, and Mother wanted me to play the piano.
Oh yeah.
So I can play piano.
Yeah, I can too.
But I want to play the violin. I just am fascinated with the violin. Yeah.
But see, there's so many instruments like that people pick up all the time. There's YouTube now you fucking learn everything for free. It's not like you have to hunt down a fucking violin teacher.
No, you don't have to do that anymore.
It's going to come to your house, Miss Susie coming to your house to teach you
how to. And then you have to put up with their shit.
And they smell like mothballs.
Do you know I took voice lessons one year, and the voice coach, her Christmas tree was up in July.
Does she just keep it up year round?
I don't think that was what it was.
Oh,
I think it was just she was just
because we had a neighbor in Florida that kept it up year round and put peaches on it.
No.
Wasn't that?
No, it was not that. It was more the mothball situation.
Oh, she forgot it was there.
Yeah,
she just walked by and
what's
that? I don't know.
Yeah. So I have and I took piano lessons from piano teachers who were like that too.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all this kind of childhood trauma. So a violin, I would have to pick it up off YouTube.
Yeah.
I would have to, because I'm not, I'm just not.
Or I'm sure there's a master class. There's many options of things.
So many things.
So do something like that. Go out. I don't have time. First of all, you do. You're only busy in your head. Because unless you work, granted, I know children take up a lot of time.
Yes, they do.
Children do take up a lot of time, but they also grow up.
Yes.
And then they want nothing to do with
God.
you. And that's when you learn how to play the violin.
Yes.
Except your children want something to do with you all the time. So you might have to do it as a family violin lesson.
A family violin.
You can be so fun. The Conleys or the Trumkas or whatever you are. Yeah. Whatever you all are.
Jazz violin. Oh God.
Shit.
We've really digressed. So
we're not even talking about food.
We didn't do very much. We just talked about that you need to learn how to cook because it's the new year,
or be like,
learn a skill.
I'm going to make myself breakfast on Saturdays instead of going to the donut shop.
I think that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things like that, little things.
There's so many little things that
and you could just say, I'm going to not every week, not every Saturday, just one Saturday a month. I'm going to fix myself breakfast instead of going down to the donut shop.
Yeah.
And then, if you really like it,
it could snowball.
You could make more.
But don't set yourself up to fail, because I think so many people do that. And I know I used to do that too. I'm going to be so much nicer this year. And I'm going to be healthy and fit and in the gym every day. Doesn't work.
Nope.
And then you just feel like a loser.
Nope. So,
And then you want to jump off a bridge like A Wonderful Life.
but then Clarence will save you.
Ding, ding, ding. He's my angel.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that are actually attainable, and it is a new year, and it is a nice fresh start, and it is, I think, a good excuse to kind of shed all that shit. And I know that last year has been, there's been a lot of change. I feel like since COVID, every year is just kind of like, meh. So maybe we'll have a better
Or it's
one.
a gift.
It's a gift that keeps giving.
Yes. And so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you in the new year.
Yes.
And stay fresh.
New Year bags. New you. Fresh beginnings.
New year, new you.